In 1971, legendary director and actor Clint Eastwood was mostly known for westerns, but that year gave him both his directorial debut and one of his most iconic characters, and he didn't put a cowboy hat on in either film. Many of Clint Eastwood's best movies are westerns, and he's known for playing some of the most legendary gunslingers in cinema. From The Man with No Name in the Dollars trilogy to the eponymous outlaw Jose Wales, Eastwood dominated the genre throughout the 1960s and 1970s. He was one of, if not the, biggest names in westerns, but Eastwood was destined for more. When an actor truly dominates a genre like Clint Eastwood did with westerns, it can be difficult for them to break out of their typical typecasting. Audiences know them for playing a specific type of role, and it would have been very easy for Eastwood to spend the rest of his acting career doing endlessly more westerns and never getting a chance to break the mold, but he wouldn't let it happen. It was largely due to his 1971 movies Dirty Harry and Play Misty for Me that Eastwood proved he could do a lot more than sit in a saddle. 1971 was a turning point for Clint Eastwood's career. Dirty Harry, Play Misty for Me, and The Beguiled proved Clint Eastwood was much more than a western actor. In 1971, Clint Eastwood's career completely changed, and it would never be the same. That was the year that the original Dirty Harry premiered, and Harry Callahan quickly became one of Eastwood's most prominent characters. It was also the year that he made his directorial debut with Play Misty for Me, which he also starred in as a disc jockey named Dave. It was more than just his break into the director's chair and the debut of one of his most popular characters, though. 1971 was the year Clint Eastwood showed the world he was so much more than The Man with No Name. Eastwood's 1971 proved he could conquer any genre he wanted to. Dirty Harry saw Eastwood trade his horse for a Ford Custom 500, while Play Misty for Me proved he didn't need to be a tough guy at all, he could fare just as well as a stalking victim as he could a gunslinger. Likewise, The Beguiled proved that even in a western setting, Eastwood could play a womanizer whose weapon was his charm, not his gun. Any one of those films would have proven Eastwood's range, but all three in the same year shattered any misconception that he was a one-trick pony. Clint Eastwood's directorial debut was a solid sign of things to come. Play Misty for Me hinted at the great movies Eastwood would direct in the next 50-plus years. Even if it weren't Clint Eastwood's directorial debut, Play Misty for Me would have been impressive proof that he was just as capable behind the camera as he is in front of it. Play Misty for Me garnered an impressive 85% on Rotten Tomatoes, and even Roger Ebert gave it 4 out of 4 stars. It's also fairly clear to see how some of the most impressive movies Clint Eastwood has directed evolved from Play Misty for Me. For example, Hilary Swank's Maggie Fitzgerald in $1 Million Baby likely benefited from Eastwood's experience directing Jessica Walter as Evelyn. Dirty Harry still defines Clint Eastwood today. There's some of Harry Callahan's snarling rage in all of Eastwood's acting since 1971. On the acting side of Clint Eastwood's career, Dirty Harry has proven to have one of the most enduring legacies in his filmography. Aside from spawning 4 sequels that kept Eastwood busy, Dirty Harry is where his patented snarl and gruff threats were popularized, which would go on to be a staple of his acting. It's also clear to see how the morality of Dirty Harry, of a rogue police officer taking the law into his own hands to do what he sees as right, influenced later Eastwood movies like Gran Torino and Unforgiven. Dirty Harry also defines Clint Eastwood's career in a broader sense. The entire film was proof that Eastwood is a master of social commentary, something his films have always tried to accomplish. Dirty Harry premiered at the height of the Zodiac Killer's murders, and Scorpio was based on him. Play Misty for Me also premiered at the height of the free love movement and had a lot to say about obsessive relationships and stalking. Even though Clint Eastwood has soared well beyond his humble beginnings, both Dirty Harry and Play Misty for Me have stuck with him through the decades.